Hey guys, we're with Cayden Maccachren right now. He's factory racer with Polaris Rzr program, Baja racer. We want to talk to you a little bit about today about the race replica edition, the research that goes into this machine, which includes a lot of your experience racing in Baja. Tell us a little bit about how what you do goes into one of these machines.
Yeah, obviously over the last 18 months or so, a little more than that, we've been developing an in-house factory race team with Polaris under the SCI banner. Over the last 18 months, we've been racing these cars and putting them through the tests and really challenging basically a stock Pro R. And our pre-runners are actually completely bone stock Pro Rs. So over that 18 months, we've really learned, the points that we wanted to improve upon. Not necessarily fix or strengthen things, but just make things a little bit better. So that's basically what we've been doing. We took a Pro R and we've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, and that's what we race now as our race cars. And we wanted to bring a little bit of that to the market here with the limited edition car, obviously in the purple colorway. I drive the purple car for the Polaris factory racing team, so a little bit of homage to my car. Won the Baja 1000 and a couple SCORE races this year, so wanted to bring it to the consumer, and we figured purple would probably be a pretty good color, and you don't see a lot of purple very often, so it'd be fun to bring it to the market.
I think a lot of our readers are very familiar with desert racing in the U.S., Vegas to Reno, smaller stuff, and even some Grand Prix, that you see UTVs and side-by-sides racing in. Baja is a whole different animal. Everything in the U.S. is pretty much groomed compared to Baja, where the course is groomed by hurricanes and everything else. They don't really clean anything up. How rough is it? It's a Baja 1000 course, starting from Ensenada all the way down to La Paz. How tough is that?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, you got sections that are super smooth, similar to the U.S. races, and then sections that have just been beat to absolute pulp over the last 30 years of racing down there. The trophy trucks down there racing with 40-inch tires and 1,100 horsepower now, some of them four-wheel drive. They've just destroyed the courses. And honestly, I like it. I like when it's difficult like that, when it's really rough. You got to work the car and work the terrain. Try to figure out how to make yourself go faster without beating the car up anymore. So yeah, I love Baja. It's where I feel like I can shine. We get to go down there and pre-run for a week and a half before the race. So we get to go mark our notes and see the corners before the race. In the U.S., you kind of just wave the green flag and go. I do like that too. I mean, it's fun. Not really knowing where you're going, but the pre-running aspect of Baja is just so enjoyable. It's honestly, like you're just on a razor ride. You're not even really pre-running for the race some days. When the weather's nice and the road's not destroyed, you just feel like you're on a razor ride, sometimes in the forest, sometimes in the desert, mountains, sometimes we even run on the beach. So it's great to go down to Baja and pre-run and get the whole experience for sure.
The technology that's going into the race machines that you race down in Baja, you've gotten to the point where you're actually able to keep your average time is right there with some of the faster cars and trucks. What is it like tangling with those guys?
Yeah, 100%. I gotta thank our whole team for that. We've took a UTV that was finishing in the 40s, 30s overall to punching into the top 20 of the overall finishing results of any SCORE race nowadays, and that's been great, being able to move up further in the ranks, but also comes with challenges, right? The cars that start in front of us, they're a lot heavier than us. A lot of the times they have a lot more power than us, and the biggest thing that I've noticed is they put up a lot more dust than any of the UTVs. So that's been a fun game to kind of manage. We've started first, both at the Baja 400 last month and the Baja 500 in June, and we were able to win both those races. But I got to really experience what it's like. Starting first of the UTVs, you're into those bigger classes a lot sooner than most of the other UTV classes. So yeah, it's been fun. Sometimes they don't really like you battling with them. They get a little upset and they don't want you to, we nerf. We have a horn, a siren. So normally you get up behind somebody, you siren for a little bit. If they don't move, you got to move them. So you start with a little nerf and you get bigger and bigger, but ultimately these cars only weigh, a little over 3,000 pounds, and some of those trophy trucks are 7,000 pounds. So 3,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds, it's tough to nerf. So, we try to just get them on a sneaky line or something like that, but you got to catch them first, and getting through that dust is not very fun.
Let's say a typical Baja 1000 course, every 3 years they go from top to bottom.
Yep.
What would you say is your favorite section? And I know the course changes every year, but what's one of your favorite sections?
Yeah, 100%. There's just sections of each place. There's Northern Baja, there's Central Baja, and there's South Baja. and they're kind of very similar. You know, from the east side, the Sea of Cortez side, all the way to the west coast of the Pacific Ocean. There's a lot of change in that. Up north on the Sea of Cortez, or the east side of the peninsula, we have San Felipe. That's notorious for being, you know, sandy, big whoops, wide washes. And
when he's talking whoops, he's talking whoops about this deep.
And they're not rollers either. They're square, and they're like curbs that are about, you know, 2.5, 3 foot deep. And, you know, we can get on top of them and go, you know, 40, 50 miles an hour in our Polarises. So it's been very fun. But ultimately, I like all of Baja. I love it all. There's places that I prefer, and normally it's just wherever the weather's nicest. I like all the terrain. When the weather's good and you get a nice 70-degree day in Baja, it doesn't matter where you are, it's fun. So I've always been a big San Felipe guy. I just like the rough stuff. I like when it's hard. I like when people are complaining about the race course, and I like when it's difficult. I think it brings a bigger challenge to everybody, and I can put myself in a better mindset than some people, I would say. So I can advance sometimes like that. So I prefer San Felipe, but some of the, you know, the fast mountain roads up north near Ensenada and stuff are fun. Down near La Paz, you get a lot of straight roads, not necessarily smooth or rough, but running down by the beach, you know, north or south of the peninsula, running on the beach is always cool. Sometimes you get fog and a lot of things like that. It's so rad to sit there and take a Polaris and go 90 miles an hour down the sand on the beach during a race. So that's definitely a high point for me.
When you're racing 11 to 1,300 miles in, you know, continuously, start to finish, eventually you're going to end up running at night.
Yep.
Do you like racing during the day, or do you prefer the nighttime?
I like it all. I like racing just in general, and thankfully we have Rigid Industries, which we put some of those lights on this car and on our race cars, and you know they turn the night into day for us. So they help us a ton at night. It's fun because it kind of gives you another science to racing, because at night you're only focusing on the course. You can't see the cactus and the rock, and you're just focusing on what's ahead of you. So some people really enjoy it for that reason. Other people enjoy it because it's more desolate. You're already in Baja, you're in the middle of nowhere, and now it's nighttime, and it's 2, 3 in the morning, and you're by yourself and you're racing. So that's another adventure aspect to it, and I enjoy that. As far as my preference, I like both. You know, it's fun. I like the challenge at night, and I like the wide open speed of the day. But you know, Baja 1000, there's times that you race from sunset to sunrise, and you better like the night, or else you're not going to do very good. So it's all fun.
Briefly tell us how you got started in off-road racing and how you ended up where you are today.
Yeah, so my dad, Rob Maccachren, his father actually, he started doing stuff with Volkswagens and, you know, dune buggies back in the day. Man, even when he was growing up, way back in the day, even when he was growing up, he was always a car guy. So ultimately that transpired into him getting my dad into racing. He ultimately took it way further than his dad, my grandpa, would have ever thought, and turned it into a career. And we're nearly 40 years later, and he's been doing that for a full-time job for 40 years. So me growing up, seeing him race and seeing him win and do really good, and turning it into a career, inked my interest in trying to turn it into a career. And I've been successful doing it so far, and I love it. I don't think I work when I go to the races. It's fun. I am working. I'm trying my best, but you know, you do what you love and you never work a day in your life, and I hope I can do that for a lot longer. So that's how I got into it, and I hope I'm into it for a long time. I hope I'm off-road racing until the day I die. Yeah.
That's Cayden Maccachren. He'll be racing the Baja 1000 coming up this month?
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks away.
All right. Hey guys, for more information on the new Pro R Race Replica Edition, check out dirtwheelsmag.com. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you out on the trail.